Greetings and welcome, fellow citizens. Today on Let's Talk Ship, we are going to be looking at the big boys of Star Citizen. Starting at the small, tiny end of the scale with the Idris and the Javelin, moving up past the Bangle Carrier and onto the big boys that make these ships look tiny. So that's coming right up after this unnecessarily short intro sequence. I did say it was short. Yeah, I do know that a couple of people have been going at me trying to get that intro sequence down a little bit, and I am working on it. But yeah, let's go straight into this, shall we? Now, down at the low end of the spectrum, we do have a few quite big ships, such as like the Idris, the Kraken, the Javelin and the Bengal. But beyond that, we have some bigger ships that make these look tiny. But before I get into those, let's just quickly go over some of the smaller ships. Now, the Idris comes in like three variations, such as you've got the Idris M, P and K. Now, the Idris M is like the military variation that you can get, whilst the P is the civilian class. Now, I'm not quite sure what the K was, but I guess not many people actually did, because I think that the K was generally about being a kit to upgrade things from the civilian to the military class. Now, which is about 240 meters in length and carries a great big massive F-off railgun on the front for the military class. The P variation doesn't have that, but does have a little bit more cargo space. However, onto the side of that we have the Kraken, which is it's a little bit bigger than the Idris, but it is more or less designed for ship transport. So yeah, the Idris is more or less for small, short-range fighter transport, whilst the Kraken is more or less for the bigger ships. Now, as I said, the Idris is very militaristic and therefore does have a lot of utilities inside it, which the Kraken doesn't. Now, the Kraken, even though that it is a bigger ship than the Idris, more or less relies on the roles that the ships that are docked on there has to fulfill the roles that it doesn't have itself. Things like escape pods, it doesn't have escape pods, it doesn't have any medical facilities. So what you'll do is you would dock ships that have those on the Kraken if you can. Okay, so the next ship is the Javelin, weighing in, or should I say measuring in, at 480 meters. That is almost, or probably more than, if I do my maths right, more than twice as much as the Idris that came in at 230 meters in length, approximately 230, 240. But this ship is massive and it requires a lot. This thing is guns on steroids. This thing has got guns, it's got turrets, it's got more guns, it's got more turrets, it's got missiles, it's got everything times lots. If there's anything that you need destroying, the Javelin is your man. It will absolutely devastate everything before it, and it requires a crew complement of 80 people to man all the turrets, all the guns, and all the different types of control consoles. And yeah, to fully man this ship, you need at least 80 people, with an absolute bare minimum of 12 people just to turn the ignition on. So these ships are going to require an entire corporation of people cooperating together just to get these ships flying. These ships, they are going to be out in the open, they're going to be easily attacked, but that's where all the guns come in, because if you're going to be attacking these, you better be armed to bear, because this thing will bite back hard as long as it's crewed. Also, the Javelin holds about 5,500 or so, like 5,400 SCUs of cargo. Now, if you think you're going to be using this as a cargo hauler, not going to happen. You're going to be using that that inventory space to be carrying things like supplies for your crew, to be able to claim medical supplies, to be able to claim food, to be able to claim minerals and ores for repair and general maintenance. You're going to be using that cargo hold to basically keep the ship running, and it's going to need that. Yeah, when you go from point A to point B, anything else, if you're not filled up, we will be able to use it to might make a tiny bit of a profit, but that is going to be pal in comparison to how much it is going to cost to run this ship. But they're going to cost an absolute fortune just to keep up in the air. Also, one of the key features to note of this ship is the top-mounted turret that's on rails. Now, the turret on here is size F off. I'm big, I'm blasting anything in front of me, and it's on rails. But the thing is, I don't think that those rails are going to be what people are thinking for, because I'm not too sure that's going to work, considering how things are working in gameplay at the moment. I think that the way that turret's going to work is that when not in use, the gun is going to be out and put away at the back, so that when people go in, people can walk into the turret, sit into the seat, and then the turret will come active and then move into position where it's ready to actually fire, and it will slock into that position until the person is ready to come out of that turret. Because, as I said, that is going to be one of the big guns for this big gun of a ship. Okay, moving on up next, of the top four is the Bangle Carrier. Now, the Bangle Carrier is going to be a flying fortress carrying almost everything and anything you need. And it is weighing in, or should I say measuring in, at an impressive 990 meters. Damn. I mean, as I said, the Javelin was twice as big as the Idris, and the Bangle Carrier is twice as big as the Javelin. So this, okay, and this is where our starting point is going to be. Now, the Javelin you will not be able to buy in shops. As far as we know about the Javelin is going to be a derelict ship that you'll find somewhere out in the verse. So you'll find it as a wreck, and you've got to come along and you've got to repair it and bring it back up flight ready. But don't think that if you're on your own, you can actually do it on your own. To repair one of these, you're going to need to repair it, you're going to need to install the components, you're going to need to refuel the damn thing. This is a great undertaking that will probably take an entire corp to actually build and repair the Bangle Carrier. And also, not only that, I'm sure there's going to be a few other people out there that when they find out or get with the Bangle Carrier out there that's currently being repaired, they're going to want it too. So whilst you're repairing it, if you don't keep it secret, you're going to have swarms of other players trying to take it off your hands. So you're going to have to be look out for that. And then once you've actually got it up and running and you can use it, the UEE will offer you a finder's fee to take it off your hands. So if you accept the finder's fee, you'll probably get a nice large sum contribution to your corporation of choice, or you can keep it and then keep it as like a basic flying fortress for your entire corp. Now this thing can carry 100. Actually, I'm not too sure how much it can actually carry, but it can carry quite a lot of ships, both big ships as well as fighters, and lots of fighters. It has a hangar bay that's underneath the main ramp. It has got lifts that bring fighters up from the hangar bay to the main launch platform, It has got, as I said, it has got massive ship buster cannons. It has got massive weapons, massive missiles. Basically, as I said earlier, this thing is a flying fortress for any corp activities you want to do. If you get this up and running, this will be your base of operations, and it will be a secure base of operation, because anyone that tries to attack you when you're fully armed with this, and you will need approximately, to fully crew this thing, about 1,000 people. You know, fully crew, 1,000 people to fully crew. Let me just check my notes, make sure I got that right. Crew 1,000, and it will contain a cargo of 15,000 SCUs. So yeah, this thing is massive. It's got the cargo capacity, it's got crew capacity to bear. You've got guns, missiles, weapons, and everything to make this a secure, impenetrable fortress for all your corp mates and all your stuff that your corp mates will keep. So if you're running this in a corp and it gets destroyed, it's going to be a big heavy damage to your corp. But yeah, and I think that's going to be one of the biggest money sinks in the game, is the destruction of a Bangle Carrier. That will be out on the news. But now, let's talk about some ships you probably don't know, and I haven't even mentioned in the video up until this point. So there are more ships out there, and these ships that you probably don't know, and these are the ships I'm going to go into, are the Pegasus, the Driller, the Kingship, and the Retribution. You guys some of you might know these ships, but these ships are not very well known in the lore. I've talked to people out on the verse, asked them about, what do you think of the Pegasus, or do you think we'll see this Retribution anytime soon? And I said, what ships are there? I only know up to the Bangle Carrier, because the Bangle Carrier is the biggest thing out there, and you're not going to get any bigger than the Bangle Carrier. And say no, the Bangle Carrier is tiny compared to some of the things that are to come. Okay, but first, the Pegasus. Now the Pegasus, I have been told multiple things over the time. I have been told that it's smaller than the Bangle Carrier, and I have been told that it's bigger than the Bangle Carrier. And other pictures put it round about the same size. So let's do an average medium and say that the Pegasus is round about the same size as the Bengal Carrier. The Pegasus is also a UEE naval ship, designated as a full assault launch carrier. It can hold up to 30 ships. Now, I managed to get this leaked video footage here that you're probably looking at right now, and as you can see, this is like the internal designs of the Pegasus carrier, and as you can see, there are lots there are lots of ships in there. I'm not too sure how the Pegasus is actually going to impart itself into our universe. It probably might be just a fleet ship. In saying that, my mind's just going at the moment a bit. I think that in the future, you know, when we start expanding the star systems, and the road what I call to 100 star systems, there's going to be an explosion of star systems soon. Once we've managed to get all the other stuff out of the way, we're going to come out with star system after star system after star system. And so far, all that you have seen so far is planetary bases, outposts, and space station stocks. And I really do think that in the future there are going to be dockable UEE ships that will act the same as a base station. you'll be able to dock onto it like normal, and then you'll get out and wander around, go to the shops and such, just like you would do on, say, like a merchant bannerman, or is it the freelance? Not the freelancer, the Kraken privateer. But yeah, but these will be NPC controlled massive mega ships that you will be able to dock on. And I think that's where the Pegasus is going, because it's going to have its own role as an assault fleet that will allow it to launch up to like 30 strike crafts during certain events. It will make its appearance in events, but outside of such events, it might move from system to system, and you can like dock on it and use its services, so like refuel and such, as it tours around its areas that it's touring, as long as you've got a good enough reputation with it. But that's my thoughts on the Pegasus. As I said, that is all speculation. We don't really have much information on that. This is just kind of how I predict and see things go. We'll have to see how it goes. The next ship is called, the next two ships are both are the Bangle. We won't get to see these ships, but yeah, we won't get to see these ships or inside unless you're actually trying to board one or destroy one. But these next two ships are from the Bangle, and the first one is the Driller Carrier. Sorry, the Driller is also known as an escort carrier. I'm not quite sure what it means by escort, but this is the Driller ship is designed as a carrier ship that will bring hundreds of ships to bear. And again, when you're looking at the Pegasus, remember how we've been with the ship so far? The Javelin is twice as big as the Idris. The Bengal is twice as big as the Javelin. The Driller is twice as big as the Bangle Carrier. Yeah, so what you had for the Bangle Carrier, double it, and that is what's shooting at you with 100 or so ships on board, flying out at you, that want nothing more than your destruction. And I believe, I mean, we've had a couple of trailers out for them, right? One that might be up at the moment, and also you may have seen the bridge of the Driller on one of the previous adverts. Where this thing that I'll put right up now, I'll put it right up here. This thing.
You OMC aren't the only ones listening into comms.
All ships, we're under attack by Bangle forces. Repeat, we are under attack.
There have been battles. There have been losses. Each and every one of you has proven yourself time and again. We will not lose the system. We will not fall back.
Form up, Cal. You got point. Copy that. Tally's on me. Let's say aye.
We will win. Because we have to.
Yeah, that is, I believe that is supposed to be the bridge of the Driller. So yeah, you've seen that. And there's another ship. This ship is tiny. Sorry, the Driller is tiny compared to this last Bangle ship. I mean, there's loads of Bangle ships that increase in size between the Driller and this ship, but the Driller is small. I'm not talking about twice as big. I am talking about exceptionally bigger than the Driller, and that is the Kingship. Now the Kingship is basically the ultimate weapon of the Vandal Empire, or fleet, or species, or whatever they call themselves as a collective. They are the ultimate ship. So big, so powerful, and when you see one of these, there's only one thing that you can do, and that is run.
Run, bitch! Run!
Run, bitch! Run! Yeah. Yeah. If you ever see one of these ships, you gotta get the F out of Dodge, because you see this picture right here. You see that mist, that haze coming out the bottom. That's not water. That's not a mist or a haze. Those are ships. Thousands of ships, and this thing launches them at you. This is a hive mind here. It's a swarm of fleets, swarm of ships that want nothing more than to kick your ass out of existence. So yeah, when you see this, run. Okay, but there is one other ship that we need to mention here. This ship is not a Vandal ship. It's a UEE military design ship, and this ship was designed to be the UEE's answer as a self-defense measure, or our response to the Kingship. And this ship is known as the Retribution. And like I said, here is another picture that I'm going to put right up here. I'm hoping that I'm pointing in the right direction, or that direction, or basically up here. This picture kind of gives you an idea of the file size. So the ones down in the bottom right hand corner, those are all the ships that you do in today's daily basis. If you put them all together, they won't even fit. They wouldn't even fit into one tiny part of the ship. Sorry, that will all fit. Sorry, get my words correct. In my deliver the words. Yeah, these all these ships that you possibly ever played, ever. Think of all the ships that you played in game. You put them all together, they would fit in less than 1/4 of the Bangle of the Retribution. Maybe even less than 1/5. That shows you just how big the Retribution is. Now, spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. When this is a spoiler for Squadron 42. This is gossip. I heard this around, so I do not know how accurate this sounds or how accurate this may be. But we think that the Retribution is going to make an appearance right at the end of Squadron 42, and that's it. So it's going to be, you're seeing like you're going to see the Retribution rising at the planet's out of the planet's surface, and then fade to black. It's going to be like teased at the end of Squadron 42. Sorry, pardon me. It's going to be teased at the end of Squadron 42. Now, my hypothesis, or the way that I'm thinking, is that how Squadron 42 is going to be is that we are in a desperate attack against the Vandal. It looks like everything's going our way, we are fine, we're pushing them back, and then all of a sudden the Kingship comes out of nowhere and starts destroying us left, right and centre, and the only thing that we can do to survive is run. Run, bitch, run. And so in answer to the appearance of the Kingship, the scientists, the engineers, all the people of the verse pull together to try and create their last desperate hope for victory, for survival, to not go out into the night. We created in secret the Retribution. And as the, I'm not sure what the planet's names are in terms, but we'll call it Earth Prime, as the Kingship descends against Earth Prime, then as the sun darkens over the crust, over the side of the planet, you see the Retribution rising up in answer to defend all hope of humanity, everyone that's left in the universe. Fade to black. Come back for part 2. Gotta leave that part 2 open. That's my guess. Yes, that's just hypothesis, theory, thinking of how things are going. There's one more level of ship that I want to talk about. A higher class ship. Now, this isn't in, no one's ever talked about it, it's not written down anywhere. This is just my hypothesizing of how things are going to go forward into the future, seeing how other games have developed and how things technically do tend to evolve into. And I am going to predict a class higher than the Dreadnought class. Sorry, I forgot to mention earlier, the Retribution is classified as a super dreadnought. So far we've had capital class ships, we've had dreadnought size class ships, we had mega class ships, and the Retribution as the super dreadnought size starships. But there is going to be a level higher than that, and as I said, this is all just me talking rubbish probably. So if you want to pause or stop the video right now, I will not blame you, because if you don't want to hear some guy rambling on about rubbish that they've got no absolute proof of or whatever. But I honestly believe that the next class, the Titan class, will make an appearance sometime in the future, or at least it's going to be noted down somewhere. Now, the thing about the Titan class starship is that it is on a scale so much bigger than the Retribution that it will require a Type 2 civilization to create. Now, I am kind of on the verge, if the people or the technical level in Star Citizen at the moment is Type 1, because okay, well, let's rephrase this. On the civilization scale, we are from, like, at the moment, we are right now about Type 0.7 right now. Type 1 means that we can consume, or we can generate about as much energy output as an entire planet. So everything that you can get, all the energy that's created from a planet, we can actually consume and actually produce. Type 2 civilizations are those that contain the entire energy of a star, and you are going to need the energy output of a star to be able to run a Titan class starship. Now, why do I think this is going to happen in the future? Because I have seen it happen time and time again in computer games, where you think everything's all going to happen right. It's even been in films. This has happened. This has happened in, like, Star Trek. This has happened in Elites Online. This has happened in X Beyond the Frontier, I believe. Or one variation of X. This has happened in quite a lot of different games, films and sci-fi, where basically we get a close encounter of an extra dimensional species, well, maybe not extra dimensional, but from a species that is so far beyond our own that we can only but marvel at the technology that they produce. And so once they've cleared out once we've sorted out all the alien races in current known systems and known universe, once we talk to the Vandu, the Banal, and learn the language, and everything's all been settled, and everyone started getting a bit bored, someone will say, let's buzz them. And then once they started figuring out what the word buzz actually means, they'll say, yeah, let's do that. Titan class, here they come. Let's prepare for those aliens to come down and probably hijack your ship, hijack your Titan. Sorry, I'm babbling a little bit there, but yeah, as I said, that's where I go for the future of ships. But I'll put this as a close for now. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed watching this as much as I've enjoyed doing it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I am trying to get this channel up to 1,000 subscribers. So if you can help me get that 1,000 subscribers, I'll be able to put out more videos and I'll be able to do much more stuff, because hopefully in the future I would like to quit my job. Don't let my boss know. But yeah. So, thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed watching this as much as I've done in creating it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys out there. Time for an unnecessary long outro. Bye.